Right, here we are, MOT morning. Man, this is going to be such a flop. Let's see if it starts first, shall we? The Moldmobile, what you call it. Ooh. Well, it started nicely, so that's a plus. One little touch to do. Right, okay, let's drive this piece of out of here. Wish me luck. Bit of last minute empty in the car. Ready for the MOT. Everything about this is last minute and stressful. I hate it. Right, we're back. And yes, it's quite a long failure sheet. Whoa. I'm getting all the interior out now so we can get rid of all this mould while I work on the mechanical parts for the MOT. Let's start with the track rod and ball joint. I happen to have one in the shed, so let's get cracking. Right, that's all that off. I need to get this retested ASAP. But I've got twisted up wires here that everything's terrible, so let's fix it. There we go. Doesn't even look that old. Well, let's just do what we're told and put the next one on. Right, that's the new ball joint fitted. Now let's put these on, which I didn't get around to last time during the storm. To make it look a bit better as well. Let's get on. It's frustrating because this is how good it all could have been the first time. Even better actually, had I not been forced off the property by the housing association. They really fluffed it up. There we go, that's one side put back together. Can't do one side and not the other, can you? Got to do in behind the ABS sensor because that was a nightmare. Really rusty. Right, that's that wheel back together. Brakes all on, copper grease stuff up again, made it all nice, did it correctly, splash guards in. Now it's time for the washer fluid bottle because it failed on not being able to squirt water. Well, it ain't gonna because there's no bottle in there. It's just quick release now, only leave a couple of screws in, it all just comes apart in seconds. Time to clean this quickly. Look at that. That's lovely, doesn't it? Where I painted all this stuff. Nice. I got it back in, but the problem is all the stuff that it attached to is gone now with just this pipe loop instead. So I'm going to have to make up a couple of brackets just to secure it. Here we are. My missus has cleaned the seats and left them in the sunshine. And if you don't know, the best thing to kill mould is sunshine. There's no better thing than ultraviolet light, the sun's rays, to stop mould or to kill it dead. Okay, so I had to cheat a bit here. There was no way I was going to get everything done in time, so I had to get Dr. Bino to help me. The handbrake cables and the exhaust bracket at the bottom were a nightmare. I would have really struggled to do them at home. Sometimes you just need a helping hand. With the help of Dr. Bino, a professional classic car restoration, engineering, crazy Marvel guy, it took no time at all. So big shout out to him for that. The handbrake cables were an absolute freaking nightmare. And yeah, and the exhaust bracket would have been a pain in the ass. Not really driveway jobs. The handbrake's better than it's ever been now. Right, so we're MOT'd, but I've just got a few more little bits to do. I've got to put my plastics in, and instead of using shitty old metal rusty screws, I'm using these. Inspired by the Toyota, I've got loads of plastic clips that are going to replace all the rusty metal junk. Seems that these little screw-in ones are the best for these mud guards. Obviously, as long as they're the right size and they hold tightly, that's what you want. So yeah, And I used those ones in there, look, just to fill any little holes. It was actually an unneeded hole, so that's been plugged. It's good. How nice is that? You got to be careful you don't over tighten these, because they don't really need that to go up that tight. It's like a raw plug, it just opens up inside and then everything is good. Let's do one here. There we go. The seats have all been cleaned, it's been put back together. It's looking a lot better than it was. Still smells a bit funny, but guess what? It's still overheating, and yeah, it's no fun to drive this car when it's overheating. Has got a little lumpiness as well in the low RPMs, but that could just be because it needs a service. But the overheating thing is my main concern now, and I've ordered a couple of bits of pipe because I made a breakthrough yesterday, which I'll show you. But yeah, I'm not driving it till it's fixed now because I don't want to be sweating like a whore in church watching the temperature gauge. It's stressful, and yeah, I'll show you what I think the problem is now. The bottom radiator hose here, I found a flat spot here which is very worn, and when it gets warm this hose is so squishy, and it shouldn't be like that. And that's cold, it's not even warm. So I'm going to be replacing this pipe here, and also there could be an issue with my thermostat, and that issue is, I've just realised that turbo pipe there isn't even in right. We'll have a look at that in a minute. That looks like it's slipped. Right, I've chucked her on ramp so I can have a good look underneath. There we go. We at least know the pump's working, or something's happening up here. Let's take the battery off. So you have to take this boost pipe off just to get to the radiator hose, and I'm wondering if that's why, that's where my boost leak is, because I had to take this off and on quite a few times because of all the water issues and thermostat issues. The thermostat's up here somewhere, right up the top there. Oh, it's a nightmare, this job. Right, there we are. This little tool is a lifesaver for stuff like this. It's hardly anywhere near as bad thanks to that tool. One of the best cheap purchases I've made tool wise. I've taken the front end off because I'm struggling to get into this pipe, and I'm probably going to end up having to take the radiator off if it's blocked, so I may as well just do it this way. It's about to go. Swear down, man. I lost count of how many times I have emptied this car of fluids. All over me. Lovely. Surely there's more water than that in there. Right, I'm taking it all off. I'm doing it properly. No more messing around. I want to see everything. What's stopping me getting this off is this rounded out little bolt here. I wonder if our Hornet man's still alive in here. Right, I can't find my screw extractor. I've been looking everywhere and I'm about to scream. I'm just going to try an Allen key in there quickly, and then if that doesn't work, it's getting drilled out. Right, Allen said no, so that's that. Bye-bye hole. Man, this thing is blunting all of my drill bits. I can't seem to get it off. I swear, everything is being delayed by this. These are the things that, like, YouTube channels and car fixing things don't tell you about. Like, an easy job is like one of these away from becoming a nightmare that takes you a couple of hours. Honestly, that's the truth. There's another one right there as well, so it's a good job I don't have to take the radiator out. If I had my screw extractors, my extractor tools, if I knew where they were, this would have been off ages ago. I'm just wasting time now. So I think I'm just going to have to leave the radiator in place. It's not blocked. I know it's not blocked. You can see it's in good nick. I'm not worried about this radiator really. What I do need to do is get in behind for the thermostat and the thermostat housing pipe and this pipe here, which is all needs to be replaced. So I've made my life a little bit easier in terms of access for this part. Just leave it there and wait for these parts to turn up. That's all I'm doing really, is waiting for these parts to turn up, and then away we go. I need to replace my aircon radiator really, and the whole bracket it attaches to, and yeah, it's a good opportunity to have a good look around, isn't it? And let's face it, nothing else is going on while I wait for these parts to show up. You see, it's a good opportunity to have a look at things. That you can see there's oil coming through this pipe here. You know, you can check for boost leaks, and yeah, importantly, have access to stuff. Let's see, all this has got to come off anyway for me to change this pipe, which is down there. Look, could even take the EGR out of the way if you wanted to, but with everything I've moved, you probably won't need to. Have a look at this pipe for the thermostat. Ready? This is knacked. Look at that heat damage or something there. That wasn't going to last long. It was on its way out. Wow. Some good build up there, eh? There's a clip on that. And out she comes. And that should be the one that we're replacing, I believe. Now we've got even easier access to the housing there. So I got him. Yep, he's loose. There we are. Is he coming out? Yeah. That's what I was worried about, see? I've just lost the bolt. But because I've got the front off, I'll be able to find it. There's a little shelf in behind here where all the bolts always land. I'll find it in a minute. Question is my thermostat the right way up or not? Well, I think it's safe to say the thermostat's closed. Water coming out everywhere. I think that thing may be a water temperature sensor. I'm not sure, but I think I've got one of those as well. I'm just gonna pull this off and have a look. Looks like a temperature sensor. Probably is a temperature sensor. Yeah, so here they are. The old one, it actually says on it 88 degrees opening, and the new one, don't think it does say. Go, my stuff has literally just arrived. All the new bits. Yeah, I've just watched a couple of videos and a guy took his out and it was that way round. When I took mine out, it was that way round. So, I don't know, I think maybe I had it the wrong way round. I can't fit that little plastic ring in because I think that's for an original part, which I don't have. It won't fit this aftermarket sense thermostat. So, I don't know. They were putting theirs in. Or maybe it is right. Hey. Right, I'm just going to chuck it in, put it all back together, as I saw in the video, that way round, and stick my new pipe on and everything, new sensors, the lot. Right, step one, let's rock and roll. There, I think that's how it's actually supposed to sit, and I did it wrong the first time. It's funny, after saying about how I remember this job being an absolute pain in the arse. There's my 10mm socket. That's like over 2 years ago I lost that. And there it is, the old 10mm. Oh, the 10mm has returned. Whoosh. There we have it, eh? Right, if you check out the difference between these two, that one is way squashier than this one. Wow, yeah, that reinforced part there, just look at that compared to that. And there's look at this bit. Wow, yeah, there's a massive difference between these two pipes. One thing I just did, look, listen to this. Hear that? So squashy. This one should be much better. Ow. Right, let's whack it on. Comes with these two. Don't know why they even bothered sending those Jubilee clips, because it's so awkward. I'll never be able to get it on or off anyway. This is something I'm going to have to address in the future. Could be something to do with my misfire. And also, maybe a good place for a vacuum gauge. We'll see. Right, I've got it, most of the pipe work back on now, down here. But this, I've got this screw snapped off, so I can't put anything in there. This one I was drilling out, and then I stopped because I thought, you know what, there's no point. And I've done these two up on this side. But yeah, I really need to replace this stuff, and I might just do an aircon delete on it, to be honest, just for simplicity's sake. Yeah, I don't know what else to do really, but for now it has to just go back together the way it is. Just a quick check now for any bits I may have missed, any plugs. All looks okay. And that was not fun. All the boost pipes are nicely connected now, there's no little gap showing. Looks a bit better, a bit tidier. I've made sure. So now just to tuck some wires out of the way, these fellas, and get the bumper back on and stick some fluid in. Whew. Right, there we go, it's finally back together. Pretty sure everything's right. I'm going to slap some coolant in there now. The flush is going to have to wait because I just want to know if it's fixed or not. Every time I take this apart and put it back together again, it gets a little bit better each time. You know, I always fix other little things around that needed doing at the same time. So this is good. Right, let's put some fluid in there. Well, we know the siphoning thing's working. Right, is all topped up, nearly warm. I'm going to take it for a spin up the road, boost it a bit, and see if she overheats. Back in a minute. My goodness, guys. Don't worry about the flashing light, it is topped up. Temperature is exactly where it should be, and we have just been singing up the overtaking lane, pulling like a train, as it should. This is fantastic. I think we're there, man. I've paused it here just to point out that I was again wrong. The reason the alarm was going off is not because it just needed topping up where it was warm. It was because my new hose had popped off and emptied all the coolant up the bypass as I was singing, as I put it. So I was actually singing up the bypass with nothing but steam going around the coolant system, which is why the temperature sensor wasn't reading how hot the engine was. Anyway, that's it for this episode. And the next one, you'll see me go through more peril. Have a good one.